Here we're going to see whether or not there is sufficient evidence to support the claim of a linear correlation between two variables, this time when we have the actual data. I'm going to take a look at two cases. The first one is question 29. Use all of the paired internet Noble data listed in data set 16. So let's go ahead and open that up. And that is columns 3 and 5. And what we will look at here, analysis, correlation, and regression. Then we will pick the two variables that they ask us to bring up. And for correlation, it doesn't matter which is X, which is Y. They listed internet first, so I listed it first. And then I'm going to hit evaluate, as well as now scatter plot, which becomes available after I press evaluate. We want to take a look at the scatter plot first, and what we're looking for is, are we seeing a trending as we move from left to right? And we start off with low variables, and as we move to the right, we do see a trend upward in it. And in the general sense, it's linear. If we start to see more of a curve, then that might be something that you want to investigate otherwise, but we said we're going to give it a lot of leeway here, so not enough of an issue with the scatter plot for that to call it quits on pursuing linear. So we got the okay for the graph. Now we come over here towards the top, and at the very top there is our correlation, and the critical value will be right below it. So we have the evidence if the top number is greater than or equal to the bottom number. Again, we don't worry about signs. So 0.7 and change is bigger than 0.4 and change. Here we do have sufficient evidence to support that there's a linear correlation between our variables, internet, and Nobel Prize winners. Next, take a look at question 31. We're going to go to data set 2 and look to see if there's evidence of a correlation between shoe print lengths and heights. So data sets 2, foot and height. So analysis, correlation, and regression. And they said shoe print and heights, which is 6. And notice I'm leaving the significance at 0.05. We said that we're going to just use that across the board. That was also in the directions right there. So I can hit evaluate and hit scatter plot. This time around, the scatter plot looks really good in terms of trending upward as we move to the right. The pattern looks much more linear than the last one, so we got to go for the scatter plot. We come over here towards the correlation results. So our correlation is 0.813 if we were to write this down, round into 3 decimal places. The critical value is 0.312. Because the correlation is bigger than the critical value, our answer is again, yes, we do have sufficient evidence to support that there's a linear correlation here between shoe print length and the height of the person.